good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Harry from Spurs TV, and today I've got my guests here. I've got Harry Scarf, my namesake, on the right. You all right, Harry?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here. We do a lot of stuff together. We haven't, because the international break, so it's great to be back on your show. It must be something great about the name. I've always thought that.
Yeah. All right, Harry Kane, Harry Kane. And Muzzy,
Exactly.
you all right, mate? Back on the show again for another Fulham preview.
Always good. Last time I was here, I predicted Fulham to beat Tottenham and it happened. So
Yeah,
let's predict it again.
I knew you'd say that. I was like, so first of all, Muzzy, obviously we spoke just briefly before how you beat Sheffield United the other week. How are Fulham fans feeling going into this game, considering Spurs, have been unbeaten? Like, how do you guys feel going into it? And then I'm going to ask you about Tottenham as well, because obviously you're someone who's neutral. So, but yeah, first, how do you guys feel going into this game?
Well, you're not going to be unbeaten all season, so we might as well be the ones to take it off you. Realistically, though, I think we could take something off you, maybe a point. I'll be happy with, because we've done it at the Emirates with 10 men. So I can't see why we can't do it again. You're going to hiccup at one point, or hopefully hiccup at one point, and I'm hoping it's tomorrow night.
But being on Monday night, do you think that gives you guys more of a chance, or?
No, not really. It's just a day and a time, really, isn't it? It's just how you play on the pitch.
Because don't you think that during these nighttime games, midweek, or just these strange evening times, like last night with Sheffield United against United, I actually thought Sheffield United could have got something from that game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Ryan Brewster came on and took a shot straight away. I was like, "Go on, the lads."
Yeah. So, do you think that plays a part at all, or not?
I mean, it's after international break, so a lot of them players have just been training normally, and a lot of players have come back, and both of our players have had loads of time to rest. So I don't think tomorrow night's going to be any different. I just feel like both teams want to get back into their forms. Fulham's last game, we won. I'm not sure what your last game was.
Oh, we won.
Luton.
There we go.
Yeah, so you're quite confident going into the game, you say?
I'd like to be. If you're asking, if you're asking my head, confident, smashing you lot. Asking my heart, I'll be happy with a point.
And also, as someone who's not a Spurs fan, I always ask opposition fans on other shows, and also just obviously on this show, how do you see Spurs doing this season? What have you seen that's different, maybe, or just your assessment of Tottenham?
I mean, so far so good for you lot. I mean, I've got a household of Spurs fans, so I watch Tottenham a lot.
His brother's a Spurs fan.
So I watch Tottenham a lot, and I see their football, and I watched the Luton game, and then I was like, "Oh, you lot are down 10 men. Oh, Luton might get a win here, bloody hell!" But you managed to hold on, get the win, and fair play to you lot. Done the job. But no, I feel like you lot are doing good at the moment. You just got to stay consistent. I think that's Spurs' problem at the moment.
Yeah.
And
how about since obviously Harry Kane's left? Did you expect a drop off? Did you what were you expecting to happen?
No, I could see other people shining. Spurs only wanted to play against Harry Kane, so now he's gone. You see a lot more talent from other players. I forgot that you lot had Basuma and Sarr last, this season, but them two have come alive. Them two are literally your midfield, and you still got Benteke to come back. And I've always said he's your best midfielder.
Because obviously Sarr's come in and he's done a good job, and Basuma stepped up, and obviously Maddison's come in and just been incredible. So do you see Benteke coming back into the Spurs side when he comes back?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I can see him definitely coming in that team, and he's all right. It's going to take him some time. He's been out for God knows how many months. I think it's like 9 months injured.
Yeah, it's a long time actually.
But I think he'll be good. Watching him play last season, where you lot was behind so many times, and he was literally your hero. You didn't need Harry Kane, you needed Benteke.
Interesting. So Harry, obviously we had the international break. The players, touch wood, and said they're going to be fit to play on Monday, minus Basuma. Are you confident going into tomorrow evening's game? Do you think we should be putting them away easily? What do you think?
I'd love to see it and go, it is going to be a battering, but listen, no game in the Premier League is easy. I think what Marco Silva has done with Fulham is admirable. The way he's got them playing, the way he's got a tune out of individuals as well. So Fulham plays some good stuff for me. Muzzy, you may completely disagree. But from bits I've seen of Fulham this season, they look very good. Their problem is putting the ball in the back of the net, and that comes when you're going to lose someone as big as Mitrovic, almost like us with Harry Kane. You can't expect you can't expect the same numbers to be going in or the same chances to be converted. Having said that, they've got Vinicius, they've got Jimenez over time. That should be enough goals combined. But yeah, I'm confident going in the game. I think it's a game we can and we should be winning, but obviously it won't be easy. I think, Muzzy says, Fulham go there and the objective will probably be to go there and get a point. That'll be a very good point. They went to the Emirates and done that. Yeah, really, really impressive. Because Arsenal obviously recently beat City at home as well. I think that just shows how big of a point that was for Fulham. Fulham would go into that with a little bit of confidence. They may have not started the season they wanted to, but it's still easy to recover. So yeah, they go into that game, Fulham as well, with confidence, having beaten Sheffield United. Both teams full of confidence after the international break. But yeah, we should be winning house, being honest with you. But it won't be easy.
Okay, so I had Muzzy on for the cup game, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask Muzzy this. Obviously, he came on and predicted Fulham to beat us on penalties, which was incredible for him to actually get that correct. Like, that was amazing. Do you think the cup game has any bearing on tomorrow's match at all?
Nah, not at all. Both teams had 9 changes. If not, I think Spurs had more changes. I'm not sure.
I think maybe 10. I think was it 10 or 11?
9, I thought.
Yeah.
You had BTEC players playing like Manor Solomon, things like that. But not holding any grudges or nothing. But no, we had only a couple of first team players, so did you. And the only time you scored against us is when Kenny Tetty had to get a new boot.
Yeah. But do you think Fulham will come in? Obviously, say you guys beat us, of course, on penalties. But do you think you guys will take that confidence into the Premier League game? Because, you can see Spurs are beatable. Obviously, we're unbeaten, but you could be the team to beat us. That's what you keep saying to me on the stream the past 10 minutes.
I mean, listen, any win will boost the confidence. So, even if we played, I don't know, say we played Gillingham next week and we won that, it's still a confident boost. We've got a win, we've scored goals. That's nice.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez, I don't have no confidence in him. All right, I was so excited. Really? I was so excited when he joined. He hasn't got no assists, no goals. The only thing he's good at doing is holding up the ball. Whenever he shoots, it is thinking, where's it going to go? Who's it going to hit this time? You don't know. But then you got Carlos Vinicius, who I'm really enjoying. I like watching him play. But I don't know. Goals need to start coming for Fulham. It's nice to see Harry Wilson got a double against Croatia in the international break. So hopefully that helps his confidence. But goals for us, it's a bit iffy at the moment.
Because obviously Mitrovic going was a massive loss to Fulham. And obviously you said you're not a big fan of Jimenez, or did you expect more from Jimenez, did you say? So he had that injury, didn't he, at Wolves?
Yeah.
Do you think you guys will go into January and go and buy someone else now? Or because Vinicius played well at Spurs, I thought myself. But
no, don't get me wrong. Fulham fans love Vinicius.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him. But if he's good at jumping up, winning headers. He's good at holding up the ball sometimes. But we need a consistent striker. We need someone who can get goals now. And January, I think you'll see a Fulham meltdown if we don't get a striker in January.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, I say Fulham meltdown mainly from me. You'll see me having a go at the director of football as usual.
On Twitter. Harry, do you think the cup game has any bearing on this game at all, or?
Yes and no. No, in
big up
terms
Barney,
of
he's a Fulham fan as well. So.
Yeah, big up Barney as well. I'm seeing him tomorrow. No, in terms of both teams are different. We made 9 changes, but at the same time, yes, because Ange will really want to beat Fulham after he will know better than anyone else. His one big mistake so far as Spurs manager was making 9 changes in the League Cup. It still annoys me, by the way, to this day. I'm trying to let it go, but it always seems to come back up. But no, he will want to put that right, and he'll want to, beat Fulham more than he would perhaps another game. He won't admit that, obviously, but secretly deep down, I think he will. So no, I don't think it'll have a massive impact. But let's hope he doesn't make 9 changes for this game. There's no reason to, but there's no reason to for the League Cup, and he done it. So who knows? Hopefully, we go full strength.
I was going to ask you also, Harry. We have Friday night Palace away. Now, this is the first time we'll be playing, apart from obviously the Cup week against Fulham, but they'll be playing 2 games in a week, arguably 2 games in 5 days. Do you see him with the obvious mention of like Son and Maddison and Romero, who Ange mentioned are fit to play? Do you think he might rest a few players against Fulham, or do you think we'll save it for Palace? Or because we've never played 2 games in 5 days with this squad? Or
to be honest with you, I don't buy into the kind of things like that, because players are paid a large wage and a large salary for a reason. I think any of us sitting here would take their kind of money to play 2 games a week. I mean, get on with it. Maddison and Son, top players. If you really want to rest them in the game. I said this against Fulham. No disrespect to Fulham, but you go full strength. You could potentially go 1 or 2 up, then rest the players towards the end. That's for me the way if you want to rotate and rest. There's no reason to that earlier on the season. I still think we're too early to talk about resting players and protecting players. So when you get to that Christmas period, then I understand resting players. No, we rest players against Fulham or Palace. I think we get beat. It's simple as that, especially Palace away. I think that'd be really, really tough. 2 London derbies as well. You don't rest players for London derbies, so no, I'm not buying into that, I'm afraid.
Because Son has been playing with an injury. A lot of people tell me. So TJ, I had him on the show on Southview Coys, a big up Southview Coys that we're always on together. On Friday night, and he was saying how we need to rest Son because he's played so many minutes. And I'm of the opinion that Son's legs have gone a bit. Like, he's older now. He's done the same minutes in him, in my opinion, at least. Like, and to give, even though people hate him saying this, because he was saying this, not even me, by the way, to give Richarlison a proper go, maybe in the middle of Vélez, and even in the middle, and rest on for Palace, because bearing in mind, I expect Fulham to come with a low block. I think Palace will be more open. Would you rest it? Because you say you don't want to rest anyone, but if Son's playing an injury, wouldn't you want to give him a break? Or?
Yeah, no, listen, Son is the exception to this. Like so Maddison, the 2 centre-backs should get on with it. It's what they're paid for. But Son, who clearly carried an injury for South Korea, has been carried it for several weeks, whether it's the same injury or not, I don't know. Perhaps it's a niggle that's got worse. I don't think Son will obviously want to stop playing. Would I rest against Fulham? Maybe, but still, I'd play him and probably bring him off. If we're winning 60, 70 minutes, I think so. But yeah, if you don't rest him for the Chelsea game, I disagree. I don't think, although Fulham will go there for the point, I think Fulham will have lots of chances in the game and be very, very dangerous going forward. So I don't think there'll be a low block. I think Palace will be a low block and we'll hit on the counter with Eze, Elise, Mateta, Edouard, etc. But I think if any team's going to go at us, I actually think it'll be Fulham more. It's strange because I'm more worried about Palace, because I know that they've got the defensive partnership of Anderson and Mark Gay, and they've got the attacking players of Elise and Eze who can hurt any defence. So yeah, I'm worried about that. But Fulham, I don't think we'll sit in. I think Fulham will be brave and we'll feel confident and go there. Yeah, Barney did a great chance. I think you look at the stats and I think it'd be one of those games you go that it wasn't pure dominance for Tottenham. They had slightly more possession. But it could have gone either way. I think it's going to be that kind of game. I think people are underestimating Fulham, to be honest with you, and what Michael Silva is achieving and has achieved so far as Fulham manager. But yeah, maybe you rest on, but still, he was rested for the first game, South Korea. But if you really want to be cautious and you leave him on the bench, but he does need to be used at some point.
This is posing the question.
Sorry, it has to interrupt, because I did forget one thing. If Johnson's back, or Solomon came back early, then absolutely. But if Johnson doesn't come back and you've literally just got Villex, Richarlison, Son and Kulusevski, it's hard because you don't shove Villex in that early. What about if he gets injured? So if Johnson's back, then maybe, yes, but still needs to be on that bench.
Okay.
I mean, let me just add
Yeah,
a
sure.
point. I went to Palace away. We drew 0-0 to them.
Yeah,
They're,
so,
yeah, so I can tell you their defense is good. We should have scored a couple,
yeah.
and they were just. I still don't think like they weren't finishing.
Chris.
You know, it was a 0-0 game. It was boring, but we should have won that game. Like, I walked out thinking we've just dropped 2 points.
Yeah, you create so many chances.
Yeah. So City, Palace. I think you'll have a better chance of beating them. You know, they've just been spanked 4-0 by Newcastle.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, they might want to bounce back against you. Like, who knows?
They always
But
seem
we
up
have
for it though
Palace is
against
quite a
them.
hard game for us. I don't know why. It's always
They always seem up for it, especially at Selhurst Park. Not being funny, but yeah, if they want to get an
Roy
atmosphere
Hodgson.
going, they can. I think it'd be hard.
But their fans ain't all that, Palace fans. You know, I could hear the drum more than they're singing, and you see about 20 people in black t-shirts. I felt like I was at Arsenal. I felt like I was at Arsenal away. You know, it didn't really feel anything special.
No, but Palace atmosphere isn't anything special, I don't think. But in London derbies, especially when they score, I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
can be. The drum has a massive impact on that. You know, there's no escaping that. I'm not going to sit here and slate the drum because we have one ourselves, and I can sit here and admit that the atmosphere last season at times was dire. So the drum was needed. I think Palace are in the same situation. The drum helps the atmosphere. But at the same time, our atmosphere was awful last season because so was the football and so was the manager. So a lot of things were wrong last season. We're in a lot better place. But yeah, no, I agree with you on Palace. Interesting. I don't think either game's going to be easy. I don't like it. People go, it's going to be easy. It's the Premier League.
You know what worries me, Harry? It's just the fact that
Yeah.
we're playing on a Monday night.
Then
Even
Friday,
and then Friday night. Friday night's such a. I don't remember us last playing on a Friday night. I can't remember. It's just the placing of the games is like really making me worried.
Yeah, but
last time we played on a Friday night, I think was like last season, and we probably lost. So there you go.
That's why I'm saying it. I'm just worried.
yes, saying that, but you lot have had European experience where you play in this kind of distance, so it doesn't really make it just because it's in the same week. Like you play on a Saturday, then you play on a Wednesday or a Tuesday.
Yeah,
so it's basically like that.
We don't play many especially because we're out of the cups. We're not Europe.
The Premier League's just getting you ready for the European football next year, hopefully.
I don't want to get carried away, but we're going to be playing. Well, we should be playing European football of some kind. Ideally, the Champions League. I think that's realistic next season. So we got to get used to it. I mean, we could go to Milan Wednesday, then Saturday lunchtime we play Liverpool away. You just got to get used to it. I don't buy it, and I don't get all this resting things. Players are playing. I'll do it. I'll play 5 games a week. If you paid that amount, so for me, just get on with it. Get on with it.
That's it. Go play 5 times a week first to let me know it is.
Yeah. You can change after that.
I know this is off the cuff of the game, but I feel like I need to talk about this. Obviously, we saw the incident with Romero a couple of weeks ago. Did both you guys watch the Arsenal game last night at all?
Yeah.
With the handball, with their guys. Can anyone explain to me the handball rule, please? So I'm going to start with Muzzy.
I just feel like they predict it by distance. The closer you are and you handball it, I feel like I just stand on the line, handball it, but you can shoot from 2 yards out and I'll get away with it. But if I'm like 10 yards out and I handball it, it's going to be a penalty. Like, even the Man United game with McTominay, you saw him move his body towards the ball, which is why they gave. I mean, you lot were the first culprits of handball.
He went like this. Yeah.
He leaned forward or something, but you lot were like the first culprits of this whole handball rule. When was it Eric Dyer against Newcastle?
Yeah.
And I remember that because it keeps popping up on my Facebook videos of the most
really
on the most controversial VAR decisions. That's the first video that pops up every time.
But Muzzy, obviously, because you're like me, we watched football in the 2000s and the 90s, right? Late 90s.
Yeah.
So obviously the handball rule then was very different. It was like if it was ball to hand was a thing where, say, if the ball went so fast that you could. There were less penalties given because it's just obviously with no VAR, but also the handball rule was, I think, more defined. I felt like back then, I felt like I knew what a handball was. Now it's like you look at the Saliba thing. Was it Saliba last night or Gabriel? When he heads the ball and it hits his hand, and then he got the Romero thing where it hits his leg or something and bounces up to his hand, and then obviously the McTominay thing where even that I think is a bit weird.
I can see why they gave that one.
I see why they gave that one because of the distance, maybe. But
it's not even that. No, if you watch it in slow motion, you generally see his body and his arm move towards the ball, which is why the VAR gave it. And when I saw it, I was like, yep, handball. But now I think they look at handballs as how far away are you from the ball? Do you have enough time to move? But at the same time, what's a natural position?
Yeah.
Like, what is an unnatural position? It's like everyone jumps in their own way. So it's a bit confusing. And
I'm a Spurs fan, right? But the Arsenal one for me, it wasn't in my footballing sense. That's not a penalty because he's jumping, and you saw Joe Reno at half a like this, and then because I agree with him. But then if you give the Romero one, you kind of have to give that one because they're pretty much as bad as each other, right? So
I mean, you saw Hasselbank and Redknapp have an argument about it, saying, like, how's he meant to jump then? How is he meant to jump? Because what, are you meant to jump like a salmon in the air every time you go for a header now? Because you're too scared your hand's going to hit the ball. Like, come on! Like, the VAR need to give a bit of leeway for that. 100% confusing, and it's just annoying to watch because I want to watch a good game of football, but I feel like this whole VAR instance, I mean, apart from you lot, you're enjoying it at the moment, is annoying at the moment.
So, Harry, I don't know what you guys were taught at school about handball. But we always taught ball to hand, hand to ball, and the whole, we had accidental ones. Like, say if I was standing right to someone, you smashed the ball and I couldn't move out the way, and it was a penalty box, they would just allow it.
Even if you do that.
Yeah,
no, not like that. I mean, as in like, say,
but even at school, if the ball's coming towards your face, you went like that. You can get away with it sometimes because you're like, oh, I didn't want the ball to hit my face.
Yeah, listen,
that's extremes, but you know what I'm trying to say. As in, so, but nowadays it's almost like I play five-a-side sometimes. Obviously, we play for fun still. But say I was an instance last week where I was playing. It was very similar to the penalty Arsenal were given against them yesterday. Where I was just standing there. I was going out to try and tackle someone or something, and then the ball just because he hit the ball up, it like hit my hand and we're like handball. I was like, well, how am I supposed to move out the way? I'm literally like standing right here. But it's just Harry.
No, I agree. Listen, the rule is confusing, and as someone who plays in defence and is captain of my school team, it is frustrating every time having to explain the handball rule to my team, to the referee, to the opposition, going, hang on, you gave that, but you didn't give that. It's hard because I have to defend with my arms behind my back, and that limits you. I haven't given away any penalties. I haven't given away any penalties yet, but I've given away several free kicks and argued it, and then got a yellow card, for example, for dissent. It is confusing. However, although I don't agree with the rule and this should be changed, VAR for me had a really, really good day yesterday in terms of consistency. My problem with VAR over the weeks, months and years that we've seen it is that there's no consistency there, and it's something I've been banging on about for ages. But yesterday we saw consistency. We saw McTominay's given. We saw Saliba's given. So whether you agree with the rule or not, they're all very, very similar, and they were all given. And so I was happy with yesterday. They done very well. It was. It's hard to admit when VAR and referees do well because it doesn't happen a lot in the best league in the world. But I suppose they had a good day yesterday, to be fair. So I was happy with that. But the rule's confusing. But at the same time, if you change it every year, it's even more confusing because that's what they do. There's tweaks every year. You've either got to stick to something, and we wouldn't have a necessary problem with it if they stuck to it. We know that it's going to change next season, and we're not going to understand it then. So the Premier League need to, get on with it, grow a pair, and just decide what they want to do with the handball rule. Whether they want to restrict the defender and allow more goals in our game, or give the advantage to the defender. The offside rule as well, I think that needs to potentially be looked into because it's stupid as well. So, we can sit here all day arguing about it, but I think VAR had a good day yesterday regardless. And going by the rules, or the laws, whatever they are, it's very consistent yesterday, so I'm quite happy.
So, Muzzy, you mentioned that the VAR has been in our favour so far this season.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I know. But
Arsenal.
Do you think the VAR will play a part tomorrow? Because it's played a part the whole weekend.
I mean, hopefully one of your players are on side and the goal gets disallowed, then it's calmer, innit? But I mean, VAR's VAR. You can't really, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We just have to wait and see. Hopefully the VAR just does their job. If something doesn't go Fulham's way, I'm just hoping that VAR can back it rather than it being another debate and a whole social media meltdown and Sky Sports are on it again saying, should this game be replayed as well? Because blah blah blah. You know, but there's going to be mistakes. It's natural to make mistakes as well. But I don't think VAR will play a part tomorrow. I hope it doesn't. I just want to enjoy a game. If goals go in, celebrate it, and not have to worry like 5 minutes later if it's going to be allowed or not.
Just like in the card, yeah.
Yeah, you know, if Richarlison takes off his shirt and celebrates again against Fulham and then gets disallowed, I'd like that. It'd be nice. But
yeah, because it's just the reason I brought it up because normally I wouldn't, but it's just the handball. I've seen so many decisions this season which have just made me think: is a handball now if the ball hits your hand in the box is a penalty, whether you are like standing.
But then it all depends
50
on the
meters
distance
from the
again.
player, or like
It depends on the
you
distance
say
again
that
because
McTominay got given, but then I don't know.
yeah, but if you like when I watched the McTominay one yesterday, he did lean forward into it. Although they played it in slow motion, and it's hard to tell if it was a natural
Yeah.
or unnatural position because it's slow motion.
His
It
hands were on
looks
his
like
side, weren't they?
they were on his side, but then it opened up and he leant to the left. So it's a bit of a tricky one. But
Yeah.
you know what? If it was up to me, I'd get rid of VAR. Honestly, I feel like it's ruining the game. It's ruining. You know? I don't know if my team scored a goal. I don't know if there was a foul about 20 minutes ago, and they're going to put it back for that. It's happened
Harry,
before, but
VAR, yes, no.
Yeah, VAR's very confusing for me. It's frustrating because I like the idea behind VAR. Someone who supported it, and it is a good idea, and it's very clever technology. But when you have a bunch of clowns, I'm going to say a bunch of clowns running it, who, you know, whether it's at the Stockley Park sitting there and called into action once again, or referee or the fourth official who has no job, whoever it is, you know, it's different every week. It changes. It's a different opinion. It just feels like it feels like decisions are based off someone's opinion, or, you know, I've always said and always think that referees have their fantasy team, and whoever they've got in their fantasy team they give a decision to. There's no consistency. That's the only excuse I can make for them. But no, it isn't good enough. I like what we've seen yesterday. I think the likes of Howard Webb has failed miserably. And although obviously I don't think the Liverpool and Tottenham game should have been replayed, in lots of other scenarios such as that, you know, apology doesn't change anything. I get that, and it is frustrating, whatever end, whether you know, when you're on the end of it as well. So very frustrating. We can accept mistakes, but not when we've got world-class technology there. We're talking about, for me, the best league in the world, with the best technology in the world, with the best fans in the world, with some of the best stadiums in the world. You know, it has everything about it, the TV coverage as well. It has everything you want, but the referees has the worst officials. And this isn't just for the Premier League, because I've spent the time over the last year, you know, watching Championship football, League One football, League Two football, National League, etc. And it is, if you know, as bad, if not sometimes worse. So English, you know, referees here in this country, it is very worrying. But no, if VAR is being used in this way, then it should be scrapped. But my things to change it is you mic referees up, you release the audio, you know, after every single game, every single match day.
Oh yeah, I'm having the same problem.
The last thing is you make it clearer for the fans who are there at the stadium on the screen what is going on, because you don't have a clue.
If everyone doesn't know, by the way, I had this issue this morning, so it must be a worldwide thing.
What's this about?
Because if you have ad block, because there's something about if you have ad block, videos now buffer for 30 seconds every time.
I haven't been on YouTube this morning, so I wouldn't know.
No, it happened. It started today. He's right, because it happened to me this morning. I was like, "Why is he taking 30 seconds to load a music video? It shouldn't take 30 seconds." And then, and then it finally worked. I was like, "What?" But anyway, so Muzzy has Paulinho out for them, and etc. So, how do you see the midfield batting going on tomorrow?
Oh, Paolini is going to batter you a lot. Honestly, that guy is a tackling genius. Honestly, that guy, he might only be with us till January. Only might be with us till the end of the season. But bloody hell, if it was up to me, I'd give the geezer, I'd sell this house and give him the money for it just to keep him at Fulham. But we all know that he's not going to be at Fulham for long. He's far too good for Fulham. unless we get European football somehow, which I don't think we will this season.
What happened with this transfer? Because is he on the way to Bayern Munich?
So he actually
messed it up.
he actually got all the photos and everything done. It just wasn't signed over the line by Fulham because we were trying to buy a midfielder. We were trying to find a backup. Yeah, and they left it too late. So how do you expect us to get a replacement and analyse someone within 2 hours? Yeah, right. So no, Pellegrini is not going to leave this summer, last summer, and then he ended up signing a new contract as well, which probably makes his value even higher.
But sorry to just jump in, but all I heard, I don't know how true it is, but it was all down to Højbjerg, whether he wanted to leave Tottenham or not. And that was down to whether we bought the likes of Conor Gallagher. We made that. Do you remember on deadline day? I think it was on
who was the other
I
one?
want to share with you somewhere. We discussed it. And it was
Gallagher
the reason that he wasn't approached in the end was because Højbjerg didn't leave. Then Fulham wanted a replacement, rightfully so, before letting Paulinho go. Højbjerg said no, let them down. Then that affected Bayern, affected Fulham. So one of our players has a huge potential knock-on impact. But Paulinho, shame he's at a small club, but all jokes aside, he's a top player.
Listen, we'll see if he's a small club at the end of tomorrow night.
We'll see. He's a top player, but no, I'm glad he stayed in the Premier League. He's a great outfit, a great player for the Premier League. And, I don't think you have much ambition. This is aimed at Harry Kane, of course. If you go to Bayern, because you're guaranteed Bundesligas, Fulham, you challenge yourself. You set a goal. Let's get into Europe this season. Let's finish in the top 10. There's that ambition there. And it's a lot better to be Fulham's best player than be, like everyone else at Bayern. So fair play to him. Whoever says it wasn't the end.
Reading that comment saying, how have we lasted so long in the Premier League? We have got the 7th British owner in the league. And you wouldn't think that, but because of FFP, we can't just throw money.
It's frustrating.
So it's frustrating, yeah. I mean, you've got one of the richest owners and he just doesn't like spending money. But
on Paulinho, Muzzy, what was his mindset? Obviously, because he's ended up signing a new contract, which I didn't even know about. Of course. Today. But obviously, he wanted to leave. He came back. I heard something along the lines of he was out of the squad for a game or two or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, he missed the Man City game when he came back, and it's not the most ideal game you want him to miss, but hey ho. So.
And we're missing Basuma tomorrow. That's why I asked this question.
Okay, so Pellegrini will probably run the midfield. Chelsea's done a good job in outnumbering Pellegrini, which is why he struggled against Chelsea. So if Tottenham watch those highlights against Chelsea, do the same job, you could keep him quiet. But Pellegrini is a kind of person. Put a bet on for him to get yellow carded tomorrow. He 100% will. He'll miss one of the tackles and take someone out. But he is going to be a busy man tomorrow.
Who's your other two, or do you play 2 or 3? Sorry.
Do we play Harrison Reed or I can't pronounce his name? I always say Sasic Lukic.
All right. Is it 4-2-3-1? Isn't it?
4-2-3-1, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the Spurs playing, because we play with 4-3-3? Do you think it will help? It will probably make us win the midfield battle, even though we're missing Basuma.
I reckon we'll probably play a 4-5-1 defending and a 4-2-3-1 whilst attacking.
Interesting. And Harry, with the loss of Basuma, and Ange basically said that Højbjerg's coming in. I don't think he's your favourite player, from what I can remember. So what are your thoughts on the midfield tomorrow and the midfield battle?
Yeah, I like Højbjerg, but Basuma will be missed tomorrow. I think what he's brought, we've signed the player we got from Brighton for maybe even better. The qualities that he's brought so far this season. It's not the reason necessarily we're doing well. He's one of many. The whole team's been absolutely magnificent. Højbjerg, though, I think is like Ange says, the most ready to go, and it makes sense to bring him in because the experience he's got in the situation. Defensively, he's very, very sound. Deals with the likes of Paulinho. So yeah, I have no worries, if you know what I mean, with Højbjerg coming in. But Basuma will be missed, and there's no doubt about it. And with with Basuma being suspended and Højbjerg stepping in, there's that one less on the bench, I suppose, to see you out of game. But yeah, I don't think it'll affect us massively. I just want to see obviously the rest of the lineup. I don't think there's anything to change. But if you are going to change any rubbish, if you are going to change anything, it'll be like you said, potentially Son resting. I think Richarlison needs to stay in the team. I think he's doing really well. Personally, I think he's been on the wrong end of a lot of criticism. Goal and assist against Sheffield United, an assist against Liverpool for people who've forgotten. But no, I think Højbjerg can live up to expectation. It should be said.
Harry, do you think it might change the dynamic of the midfield? Because Bissouma, I think, in the last few games has gone a bit more further forward than Sarr, at least from what I've seen. And Sarr's dropped a bit as well. And obviously against Arsenal, it was almost two of them. You had Sarr and Bissouma. We almost played a 4-2-3-1 that day, sitting, and then you had Madison's all like a free role. Do you think Sarr's role might change at all tomorrow?
Not really, because you don't change the system for an individual. You've got to remember that. Angel won't be about the individual, but what's best for the team, and what's best for the team is to keep the winning formula and bring Højbjerg in for Bissouma. For me, anyway, personally, I don't think Højbjerg could offer what Bissouma does, perhaps going forward. And of course, Højbjerg's not going to be as good as ready as Bissouma, because Bissouma's played every game in the league. Correct me if I'm wrong. So far. Has done it really, really well. So Bissouma's got the experience in Ange's system. Højbjerg has only got that from on the bench, but it shouldn't. I'm not being funny. Again, no disrespect to Fulham, because no game is hard in the Premier League. If we're playing Manchester City away, I'd be slightly worried about missing Bissouma. But I think if we're missing one of our centre backs or Vicario or Maddison, of course I'd be worried, and I don't think we'd win the game. But it's Bissouma. And we've been really strong in that position, but who knows? Because the midfield's been so important. So I guess we'll have to see tomorrow. But I have faith in Højbjerg, as always.
Arguably, people are saying Bissouma's been our best player this season. So wouldn't you think he'll be a miss?
Well, I must admit, he's been good, but he comes behind Vicario, he comes behind Maddison, he comes behind Van der Ven, comes behind Romero, Porro, Adoki. He's been good. He's been good. He's impressed me, but no more than they have, or Sarr for that matter. Everyone's impressed me in the team, to be fair. So, not being harsh on him. Everyone's been good. He's been good. He's impressed me in moments. He looks, a lot better than he did last season. And at times, he's been really. This midfield has Bissouma, Sarr, and Maddison. They've been, really shone so far this season. Bissouma's one of three. So I do think, obviously, he'll be missed. I don't think as much as people make out.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
Muzzy, what have you made of Bissouma this season? Do you think Spurs will miss him?
No, honestly, like I said earlier, he feels like a new signing this season. He doesn't feel like you've had him for, is it 3 seasons now?
So, second season, I think.
It's his second season. But he doesn't feel like you've got him last season. It feels like he's a new player that's come in this season, and he's beasted it. And him and Sarr's partnership have been really good, where one knows when to push forward and one knows when to sit back. And you making sure you've got that midfield. But tomorrow's going to be a tricky one for Spurs in the middle. I forgot that Bissouma got sent off against Luton after him getting tackled by the air.
Yeah.
And Pellegrini, if he doesn't get outnumbered, I can see him winning the ball in midfield easily and definitely beating Højbjerg.
Causing problems.
Them two are going to have a battle tomorrow, and it's going to be an exciting battle, because this is when you see, is Pellegrini still good enough to go to Bayern Munich? Is he still good enough to play for a European champion? And of course he is. He's a massive player for us, and I can't wait for him to tackle Højbjerg in the middle of the park, through ball, Carlos Vinicius, and Carlos Vinicius runs around the keeper and taps it in, and the Fulham fans go wild, hopefully.
No, but not being funny, but we've got 2 strong midfields, 2 really strong.
Wait, you didn't let me finish. And then I'll wake up from my dream and I'll get ready for the Tottenham game.
Wake up from his dream. But do you think the Vinicius thing is like a factor at all? Because he's coming back to Spurs. I think
he's got maybe first time. I don't know. He might have come off the bench a couple of times, but he's got a point to prove, and he wants to prove that he was good enough to play for the Spurs team. And I mean, you lot could have had him, but it was going to cost like 30-40 million. And then we ended up getting
5 million, I think.
And then we got him for 90% less.
Yeah.
You get him for 3.6 mil. And for me, that's a bargain. It's a risk re-signing. All right, yeah, 3.6 million for me sounds like a lot because I haven't got that money, but for Fulham, it's nothing. But it's an absolute bargain, and I really hope he does start tomorrow because I feel like Raul Jimenez isn't gonna do a job tomorrow. As much as I was excited that I saw him join our team, I was like, yes, what he done at Wolves was amazing. But since that head injury, he is not the same player.
Interesting. Because for me, Jimenez, if you spoke to me, because we were linked with him under Mourinho about 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was
At
different. He
Wolves,
didn't get a head injury
I
then.
really liked him when he was there before his
The
injury.
head injury affecting that has in terms of
Yeah.
confidence and the period he was out for. He's not the same player. I've seen him for Fulham. Talked about it with good friend Barney there. I think Jimenez will start though. To be fair, Barney. Maybe they both will start. Well, I definitely think Jimenez will start. I think he'll offer a lot to Fulham. I just can't see him getting the goals. I think he'll get lots of assists and be involved in lots of goal contributions. But he just doesn't look as confident with his head. He's just lost that. And you know, it's understandable what he went through. So he's not putting himself about as much. He's not. Whereas Jimenez, I know for Wolves, was in the defender's face, the first to get there. He threw himself at everything, and that's why sometimes got injured. But it's understandable when you get an injury like that you don't want to as much. So it's sad for him, really. However, there's still a player there. There's no doubt about it. Hopefully, for his sake, not this game, but hopefully he can still find that and continue to score goals after Monday.
So if I was going to ask Matthew this, obviously Richarlison came in last season at Spurs. He's a player we've actually spoken about before on here, I remember.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, me and Harry speak about Richarlison all the time. But what do you think Spurs or Richarlison needs to do to get to where he should be? And do you think Richarlison has a chance to take over? I'm going to say Harry Kane, but because for me, Son's 31. But do you think he has a chance to be Spurs' first choice striker? Do you think we're going to keep him for another few years, or do you think this is his last shot?
Can you ask him?
I'm asking Muzzy the question because he's an outside person.
I think now that they've got the picture, they've learned how to play as a team properly. I'm not saying that Spurs didn't play as a team before, but now they've learned how to actually play proper football.
Don't worry, he's just winding me up. Okay, I know who it is.
I love it.
Now they've learned how to play as a team rather than trying to get the ball into Kane. Because I feel like when Richarlison came on, they still played the same routine where they imagine Richarlison can do the same job as Kane. No, he can't. He's not that. He's not as big and as strong as Kane. He's not got the jumping ability as Kane. But now that you've got Angeball, let's call it, because that's what everyone else calls it. He's starting to learn how to play as an all-round player, where they're playing as a team and getting the ball around. And I think Richarlison can be better this season. He's the kind of person who doesn't like criticism, and you have to put your arm around him. But you're playing a man's sport. You need to learn how to be criticised and. Rather than being a little snowflake and getting insulted by it, be a man and fight back the critics. And, seeing him cry on the bench when he played for Brazil, come on, can't be crying. I mean, all right, yeah, men are allowed to let their feelings out because I know this whole mental health, but come on, don't cry on a bench.
Also, Buzzy, do you see him as a striker or a left winger? Because this is the question everyone asks
here
me.
we go.
See, I don't know because I've only ever seen him play as a striker. He could play left wing. He's got the pace for it. Because sometimes I get confused if he is a striker. I've seen him finish sometimes.
Yeah, I know you're just trolling. But so as in, because obviously you see him as a striker, is it because of what he did for Brazil, or I just want an outside perspective on it? Because Richarlison's a very big topic for Spurs fans. Like people are like, me and Harry, the minority probably who still believe in him.
Yeah.
But most people will just want him out now. So, but to me, I think he's doing all right.
It's too early, It's something you can talk about at the end of next season, where you say the first season you look at it as all right, it's his first season, let him blend in. But then you look at Haaland and he's absolutely dicked the Premier League. And then the second season, where you're more comfortable, where you're playing similar opponents. All right, there's 3 teams that get promoted, different 3 teams. But other than that, I still feel like Richarlison, he needs to prove himself this season. It's his second season, but he's also played in the Premier League with Everton. So surely he should be used to the Premier League, and I think he can be gone by the end of the season. And Spurs need to buy a proper striker.
But so you see him as a striker, not a left winger. I just want to establish this, right? Yeah, or not?
I mean, yeah, because I've only ever seen him play as a striker.
Because at Watford he played a bit on the left. I remember. Everton he played a spell on the left, but he also played up front. Obviously for Brazil he just starts up. He's up front. So because obviously, was it Marlon or someone else posed a question to me? Oh, do you think he's left wing or a striker? And then I went on that rant.
Marlon got it all wrong.
Yeah.
Wait, Marlon, what is it, a footballer? Marlon, you talking about?
No.
All right.
You wish he could be.
I thought you were about to start talking about Borussia Dortmund for a minute.
No.
Do you remember Marlon Harewood? I don't know why that came to my head. Marlon Harewood.
Harewood, the West Ham.
Yeah, do you remember you said West Ham, that guy, tall striker? He wasn't. Yeah. Not him. But anyway, Harry, obviously we sort of agree on Richarlison. Do you think that he has a long-term future at Tottenham? What do you think his best position is? Because obviously this is a question that gets tons of people in it.
Listen, I remain very clear on my situation and view, and that is I think Richarlison is being scapegoated at the moment. People can't take that out on Eric Dyer because he's not playing. People can't take that out on Davinson Sanchez because he's been sold. People can no longer take it out on Vicario because he's doing really well. They can't take it out on Lloris because he's not playing either. So I think fans have nothing better to do in their spare time. I hate to say it to talk about our own fan base like this because it is a very, very small minority. And mostly people online, funny that, with their players as profile pictures, but no, etc. It's crazy. The scapegoat that he gets. And the only reason we're having this conversation is because of the 60 million price tag. As much as I like and want to keep defending him, I will for now, by all means. But there is a time where he has to improve. Not say improve, he has to score more goals because you pay 60 million for a striker who's Premier League proven, established, and was brought in to score goals. That's what strikers are brought in for. However, I will say that he needs at least until the end of the season. If we get to January and he scored no more goals, no more assists, and he hasn't been injured, obviously, then we've got a problem, of course, and perhaps you look into that. But I still think that you need to have patience with him because he got a goal and assist against Sheffield United, and for me, what was his best performance. Then got an assist against Liverpool from the left wing. And I mean, whatever Marlon thinks, he played the most of his Everton career as the striker. Because
I don't think Marlon's watching it, but you never know.
I don't know where he was. I think he was lost, but no, because Calvert-Lewin was injured most of the time, so he played as a centre forward, and Calvert-Lewin was fit. He played on the left, but that was like less than 25% of the time. So I don't know where he's got that from. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I seem to remember watching Everton when Richarlison was the reason they stayed up in that striker position, scoring the goals. Calvert-Lewin was nowhere to be seen. So I don't know.
Do you think Richarlison's issue at Spurs is when he plays up front is the supply he's given? Because what I've noticed, actually with Maddison and Son came off together right against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So for example, I'm arguing here for in his corner, saying that Maddison spent more time on the pitch with Son, a lot more time on the pitch with Son than with Richarlison.
Yeah. You can definitely blame the service, and that was the large part for what we blamed when Kane went through those like that difficult period. However, the best strikers, like the Harry Kanes, and even the best players, Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, etc., and Haaland, they create their own chances. I've never overgot the fuss about Haaland, but what he done yesterday was a prime example of a striker who created something for himself and had no right to score, and he did. So, Richarlison does need to help himself. I think his hold-up play is okay. Some people criticise it. For me, sometimes it's just the first touch, but I think it's confidence. But when you're being called every name under the sun online by Spurs fans and other fans, then it's going to get to the head. And we've seen that with recent scenes. So I love the way that Ange has handled it. Yes, I still believe Richarlison could work at Tottenham, but fans need to be patient. And, we've got to get behind one of our own players. That's what fans are for. You get behind the team, and that includes players and manager. So people, Like I think people have it in their drafts when Richarlison misses a big chance. They're more bothered that Richarlison doesn't play well. I actually don't think they want them to succeed because they've got something to talk about, something that gets attention, clicks, views, and it's sad really because I see a lot on my timeline. Perfectly good people, really nice to me. I get on well with them, but they have nothing better to do than jump on the Richarlison agenda, and it's sad because we're talking about a player who's Brazil's number 9 for a reason, and someone who's admitted has gone through a tough period recently. So as fans, we need to get behind that. But at the same time, the price tag, he needs to start scoring goals and helping himself. But it wouldn't take him out of the team. I think he's in good form at the moment. And against Luton, I actually thought, I don't know what you think, but I thought he played well but just couldn't score. I actually thought he looked dangerous. Why did he create those shots? Why was he, being talked about so much? That's because he created those chances. He was lively. He was dangerous. He was ambitious. He just couldn't put all the ball in the back of the net. But every striker has days like that.
Because obviously he's playing on the left, I don't feel like you should expect as much output of goals from him. But that's just my opinion.
No.
Yeah.
As long as he's contributing in some way to the team winning, and Richarlison's in the team, we win. So that is saying something.
I was on Tottenham away the other day, and Johnson is rumoured. Well, I don't think he's going to be back, but people were saying, "Oh, if Johnson comes back, we should drop Richarlison straight away." But I don't think
put an injured player straight back into the team.
Yeah,
you don't do that with Bentancur either. I want him to be introduced gradually,
slowly. Yeah,
because if he's got ACL, it could make it worse. So that's really, really important. There's no need to change a winning formula. I can't express that enough. So I don't know why I just done it in the cup.
And Muzzy, obviously, I was going to ask you just blanket statements. This is going to lead into something else. I know Harry knows what I'm going to lead into, probably. But from an outside looking at Tottenham this season, obviously we're unbeaten so far. And obviously you don't want us to stay unbeaten tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. but where do you see Spurs finishing? I'm going to bring up the T word yet. I'm going to save up for the question after this. But where do you think Spurs will finish this season? Do you think we're playing once a week? Do you think that's a factor? And obviously your brother's a Spurs fan, so
do you want my opinion from my head or my heart?
Both.
All right. So from my head, I hope you lot get relegated. But from my heart, I generally feel like you lot have a chance of doing something special this season, and having more of a rest than the other top 6-7 teams is going to keep you up in that top 4. Whether that leads to you winning the league, I don't know. But I always said, like I said to my Arsenal mates last season, wait until you play Man City. That's when you know. Is it
December 5th, 6th?
I always say this: wait until you play Man City, because that's when you know if you're actually a contender for the league. Arsenal have proved it. I know you lot hate me to say it, especially on this channel. Yeah. Arsenal have proved it. It's your turn now.
Yeah.
It's your turn now. They've basically said
they came back well.
They came back well.
I do think some of the keeping yesterday was very questionable, but on both sides.
I mean, both sides, yeah. It's like Raya way off his line, and then Sanchez passed it straight to Rice.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse.
I mean, it was a good finish from Rice.
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish actually from Rice, for where it was.
But no, realistically, I could see you and Arsenal battle it out to the end, and City actually and City actually finishing thirds. Maybe really? I don't know. I mean, I could see if your form's been quite good, and with no European football, not out the Carabao Cup. I don't know by who, but a really good team, big team, massive team apparently. No, I feel like you've got enough time to rest players. I mean, I know the Premier League's not letting you this week, where you've got 2 games, but hey ho, they're just getting ready for next season, I guess.
Interesting, Harry. Before I go into the T word, where were you made off this season overall? Because I think. The first time on the show this season, or I don't know, the second time.
I think it's the second time. To be fair, I don't think it's the first. I could be wrong. Yeah. But I think that I'm loving what I'm seeing at the moment, and I'm going Monday. The scenes that I've seen, first game I went to the season, Liverpool, absolutely excellent, and that that feeling at the time, I want to say we can do this. And at the same, I want to sit. I'm going to sit here and go. If we're in a title fight with Arsenal or Liverpool or Manchester City, bring it on, because I think we've shown that we can take the game to Arsenal. I think when they come to us, we're beating them. Liverpool as well. Some people say it's with 9 men. Doesn't matter. We won the game, and it's harder sometimes to play against 9 or 10 men because you don't prepare for that in training.
Wait, not just 9 men and a VAR decision.
Oh, God.
But we can't control that. We can't, you can only win what's in front of you, and we've done that. I understand that VAR had a shocker. Klopp, cried as usual, but it's great to see.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
I didn't have a good day. But yeah, I believe that we can. But at the same time, deep down, as a Spurs fan for a short period of time, has watched us under Conte, under Nuno, and the latter end of Poch. That part of me thinks is the bubble will burst, but has still, if we finish in the top 4, it's still a very successful season. It's still progress. We're playing some better football, but at the same time, we're not in Europe, so I don't want to say we can't compete with City, Arsenal, Liverpool. No, we're playing one game a week. I suppose is no reason, but what people have also got to understand, I know I'm contradicting myself left, right, and centre here, but I always do that. But I forgot what I was going to say now. That's great. Well, I think I was going to say something like, well, you've got to get used to, like you say, playing 2 games, because we should be in Europe next season. But we're at the start of our project. That's what I was going to say. At the start of our project, only had 1 transfer window. Arsenal a long way into their project. So if we battle it out to Arsenal, I was just surprised we went toe-to-toe with them. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Top 4 would be great. But I believe we can do more than that. From what I'm seeing at the moment, injury-free team that's invested in, good recruitment in January, then I believe we can do it. Why not? Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready.
Okay. I was going to ask about Liverpool, though. Don't you guys think Liverpool are in it?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be in it.
Right now, I think they look stronger than Manchester City, to be fair.
I know we beat Liverpool, but I think they're the strongest team I've seen this season.
I wouldn't say they're stronger than Man City. They're stronger than Man City if Man City didn't have Rodri. Right?
Yeah, I was relying on Rodri to get injured for 3 months. And then
hopefully.
But Arsenal spirit yesterday, to be fair, you can't question that. Tottenham, last season, we've been down and out. And they could have got turned over 3-4-0. It pains me to say it, but their mentality and the fact they beat City, they're also in it. So it could be a very wide open.
I think with Arsenal, Harry and Muzzy, that performance against City was very mature. I didn't expect that. I think they're right in it, 100%.
They took their time.
Has a Newcastle in it? If Chelsea improve, are they in it? I mean, United are only
I don't think Chelsea are in it.
Title. We could sit here and go, there's so many teams involved in it. Aston Villa look really good this season. I think they could finish inside the top 4. There's so many teams in a top 4 race this season.
I'm dreading playing
Palace are outsiders to finish in Europe this season in some way, shape, or form. I think Brighton will. There's some really good teams this year. The Premier League's not easy. No game is easy. That's why you can only beat what's in front of you, and we've done that.
But Muzzy, don't you think that obviously they did the treble last season? Do you think there might be a drop off? I mean, Gary Neville spoke about how when United did the treble, there was a bit of a drop off because they need to get motivated again. Obviously, again, it's very hard to do it.
I want to say to get motivated. It's we've only got 1 more trophy that we haven't won to play for, which is the Club World Cup, which is in December. So Man City are probably trying, the players are trying not to get injured so they can play in that tournament. Yeah, that's the last cup they've got to win to win. Was it the quadruple properly, if you want to call it that? But talking of the league, it's the hardest league, and now we've got Chelsea, who aren't even in Europe. You're not even in Europe, and then you've got Aston Villa, Brighton, Newcastle, all playing in Europe, getting extra money as well. It's going to be a struggle to be in the top 10. For me, not for you, but the Premier League's only getting harder. Where you see, Bournemouth are struggling a lot. The 3 teams that got promoted, they're struggling because they don't realise how much money is actually going in the Premier League. And once you're in Europe, that money is going to be absolutely mental. With an extra there's an extra Champions League spot this season as well. So
possibly, I think, yeah.
Yeah, because of how well the English club's been doing in the last.
Mm.
It goes by these numbers and point leagues, but it's going to be interesting on who gets into Europe next year. If it's not Champions League, Europa Cup. If it's not Europa Cup, Europa Conference League. You know, give it another 10 years, and even if you get relegated, you've qualified to be in the, I don't know, the Europa Conference League. Who knows?
Conference.
Conference times 10.
But
Yeah.
you know, when you said the T word, I didn't expect it to be title. I thought it was just going to be trophy. But
All right. Well, I mean,
I'll
we're
take
not
either.
FA Cup.
I'll take either.
FA Cup could
no,
be
you know,
possible.
Fifth in the FA Cup, I'm still happy.
no, you want to go further. You're Tottenham. You know, if even with Fulham, we almost got to semi-finals, but
I
Mitrovic
remember
started to
that.
push
Actually.
Mitrovic
Yeah.
started to push referee, and then it all went AWOL from there.
You guys under Hodgson, right? You guys made the UEFA Cup final, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, and then lost Atletico Madrid with a Crespo offside goal. Yep, don't remind me of that. Thank you.
Yeah, because that was when Fulham were just they had Zamora and players like that. Didn't you? I think,
You'll definitely hear us singing tomorrow. Have you ever beat Juventus? Have you fucked? Because we
Is it?
sing that.
You
we
beat
definitely
Juventus,
sing.
isn't it? Yeah.
We beat Juventus 4-1 at Craven Cottage. Dempsey, lobbing booth on. Have some of that. But yeah,
Good times.
oh, I still watch the videos thinking, oh, I wish this was tomorrow. Come on.
Dempsey was like he even played for Spurs for a bit.
Yeah.
But, also, I'm going to ask you again about actually, should I bother with that? Sessegnon. Okay, I'm not going to ask about the other guy because of the situation. But
anyone else you're going
Sessegnon.
to talk about and you bring up Ryan Sessegnon?
Yeah.
Every time.
I ask him every time because I need people to watch this and realize Sessegnon needs to go. That's probably why. But so Sessegnon still injured. Obviously Perisic has got injured. We've got other players who are injured on the wing like Johnson, and he's possibly coming back soon-ish. I think. Do you think he has been given another chance, Muzzy, down that left-hand side?
See how he does off the bench. You know, you haven't seen him under Angel yet. He could fit into that philosophy where he can also play on the left. He can actually play as a winger. You know, with Fulham, he was our left back. Well, he played. I think he played on the left as well.
Left wing, didn't he? As well?
He left, and he was our top goal scorer once in the Championship with 17 goals. You're thinking it's not bad from a 17-year-old in the Championship, which I think is harder than the Premier League sometimes. It's quite good from Sessegnon.
Harry, do you give him any sort of chance?
No. Listen, he's done okay. He's a good player for Fulham, but we've got too many players on the books, if you like. And once the club have helped you through that injury in January, I'd let him go. Anyone wants him? 5 million. Muzzy, take him. This is no offense to Sessegnon, because I said the same with the likes of Ndombele. We got ourselves into this tricky situation. We had 41 players in the squad at one point. And if we want to bring players in, we have to let players go out the door. At the same time, we need homegrown players, so it's difficult. Ryan Sessegnon could be good off the bench. I don't think he'll play much, but who knows? But I'd say you need to get him through that injury, because if he's going to keep getting injured, then no club's going to want him. Not being funny with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If Everton could get rid of him and they could get a good replacement, and it wouldn't cost them anything, then they definitely would. But they're kind of stuck with him now, committed that long-term contract. And they can't find a good replacement. There's not a lot of strikers going out there at the moment, because Chelsea's struggling for a number 9 as well. United took them forever. So it's a difficult situation. Ryan Sessegnon, I don't think I would give him another chance, but some will. So who knows? But yeah, not for me. You can have him if you like.
I think we're not going back to Fulham.
I think so. And I hate to say it has, but when people say Richarlison goes back to Everton, it makes sense. Calvert-Lewin's too injury prone. They need a striker. But if you get good money for him, then maybe. But at the moment, it's too early to say.
I think Richarlison also is quite delicate, because Son, people hate me saying this, but he's on his last year or two at Spurs. So
people don't like to hear it. Son's not going to be here in 6 years' time, and that's just the reality.
Yeah, he's 31. His legs are. Saudi might go in for him again next summer. You don't know.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so I think he's got a year, maximum 2 years left. So it'd be stupid, I think, to sell Richarlison anyway, because we'll just have Velez.
I think Son's better than Saudi Arabia, though. I think Son has ambition. I think he has.
But then Saudi Arabia is just to collect your pension, basically.
Basically, yeah.
It was literally, they'll offer Son. I mean, what they offering Benzema? Is it 200 million a year?
Something crazy, wasn't it?
He'll get the same.
Has a
He,
question. How much would you take for Son? Let's say next summer Saudi Arabia came in. What would you let him go for? As someone who's quite critical of him at times.
So he's 30. How old is he? 31 by then or 32?
Probably 32, but you can go with 31 if you like.
30 million.
Really?
wait, Salah got offered. Salah same age, right?
The difference with Salah is that Salah has a massive reputation in that area of the world.
I'm going with 70 million.
I was going to say
70
50. I was going to say 50.
You think 50?
I think 50 is fair.
Also, you got to take into consideration he's not the same player. I don't think he's the same player he was 2 years ago.
We'll see.
Depends who he played against.
Yeah, because right now I think Harry, we kind of like. I don't think accommodating is the right word because he's scoring goals, but the team's built around obviously just setting him up, but as in where we play the game on the floor, and obviously Maddison's there. If I think Maddison wasn't there, it's like I think with Kane. Without Kane, I think Son is like half the player, and obviously without Maddison now, who's given the bullet for him.
To be honest with you, that's why I really wanted Harvey Barnes in the summer because
I wanted Harvey Barnes.
Long-term replacement for Son because Johnson could be good and probably will be good. Same with Solomon, but they're not of the level of Son at the moment. Anyway, I like them off the bench, but in terms of permanent starters, all of a sudden, our fab front three has best in Europe at the time last season of Kulusevski, Son, and Kane could be downgraded to Solomon, Johnson, and I don't know, Richarlison, Velix. It doesn't sound right for a club like Tottenham Hotspur, who we're talking about in the title race here. That's a championship. So, I don't know.
I think we do have issues in the front three because Kulusevski, he's done all right, to be fair to him, especially last game, but that was because he was moved more central.
I've been quite critical of him, but Luton was his best game in terms of his all-round team contribution.
He was brilliant, I thought.
Right. It's the team you just said, Luton. Right.
We had 10 men. Should we have that replayed?
You want it. You want it. It's fine.
I'm saying we had 10 men.
But the Merseyside derby should be replayed, though. Just saying. I love that question.
Yeah. But so, as in, for me, Brennan Johnson, I do think there's a lot of potential there. I do think he's gonna. Yeah. He might turn into be. He'll be anything.
Off the bench.
But with Solomon, I'm not so keen on. But I think Harvey Barnes for me is the one we should have got 100%.
Missed out on that.
Yeah.
And Zaha for free. Missed out on that.
I think if you bought Barnes with Maddison, I think we've been cooking down that side.
Yeah. Agree.
Because I think we have wing issues really.
Unless we go for someone like Elise, maybe.
We have linked with it. But the thing I was going to say about Son is I don't think he can play on the left in this system anymore. He doesn't have the legs for it. He's just been used as like with Bale. When Bale came back, he was used like a second striker. Now he's obviously playing as a striker, Son. And obviously you got Ronaldo in his last few years. He just got moved in the middle and he was playing as like a striker. It's the same sort of thing. It's just he's not the same player. And I think you have to cash in on them. I think at some point before he completely uses all his value. But at the same time, Spurs need to plan for this. Like in the summer, we need to buy a striker, 100%.
Yeah, agree.
So score prediction tomorrow, Muzzy.
Why
he's going to say something ridiculous. I can just tell.
Right, like I said, would you like my head or my heart first? All right. So in my dreams, we're drawing 1-1. There's 7 minutes injury time. 6 minutes 59. Carlos Vinicius around the keeper, scores a tap in, does a chicken dance in front of the Spurs fans. But then like I say, I wake up and it's not true. But realistically, I'd go for a 1-1.
Oh, interesting.
I'd go for a 1-1 where Fulham take the lead with an early goal.
I do think we take the lead.
We're not used to scoring early this season. Last season, we used to scoring early against some teams, but this season it'd be nice if we could take a lead and see how we can deal with keeping that lead.
Hey, you're right, mate.
But realistically, I'd be happy with a point. I'll go for another 1-1 draw because That's what I predicted. No, I predicted 2-2 last time, and we win on penalties. Tomorrow I'm saying 1-1, and there's
You
no
better not be
penalties.
right again. I'm a bit fuming.
Harry,
This is a game we want to be winning because
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not getting carried away by any stretch of the imagination. But if we beat Fulham, we beat Palace on Friday night, we go 5 points clear. I mean that sounds perfect. But no, we're in fourth. It doesn't look as good as it did. No worries, Ricky. No, I think we will win. I don't think it'll be as easy as people make out. I'm going to go with 3-1. I think Fulham will score first, and I think Fulham will create lots of chances. But I think Fulham's downfall will be, maybe a defensive error or two. But in particular, I think what Fulham's issue will be is not being able to convert their chances. I think they're going to get into wonderful positions, but between Vinicius, Willian and Jimenez, I think they're going to be quite wasteful. And Dave, I think Fulham will look back on the game and gone, we could have got something out of it. But no, I'm going to go with 3-1 Tottenham on top of the league.
Okay. Well, I've gone with 2-1 Tottenham. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think
you're never confident, though, are you? Let's face it.
I think we'll win.
We could be 30 points clear, and you think we wouldn't? We
10 games, 30 points clear. Yeah. But I think Fulham will score. I agree with you, Harry, 100%. And Muzzy, they will score. Probably from a set piece, if I'm guessing, Vinicius header or something. But I think we'll score first. I think Fulham will equalise, and I think we'll score late again.
I think Jimenez will get on the score sheet. I don't think it'll be with his head. I think it'll be like a volley into the ground that bounces up over Vicario on the counter.
See, if Spurs score a last-minute winner, I don't think I could be able to go home. I don't.
Imagine
because it's more his brother, to be honest.
My brother and my dad are seeing to get hold of the Tottenham, and then my dad's missus will be at home. My dad's missus will be at home watching the match, and she supports Tottenham, and I'm just like, tomorrow is going to be war. Like, I'm leaving home at 6 a.m. to try not to see anyone, get home quickly, and quickly get to the game without seeing any family, just so I don't have to speak to them until after the game.
Well, I'm kind of picturing 11 minutes of added time where we score in the 10th minute of added time, 100th minute. Vinicius own goal, maybe. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
I'm just like, no, I have to go home now.
Oh no, you'll see me run on the pitch and try to get it abandoned.
Honest question for you, Muzzy. Would you rather lose it in the 100th minute, like 2-1 or 3-2, or would you rather just get turned over?
I'd rather get turned over so I can quickly get home and quickly get into bed without seeing family.
I might take more of an L.
and then I might be able to get a cab back with that surge price as well, which would be nice.
All right. So Harry, when are we next going to see you?
Good question.
Tomorrow, I might see you tomorrow, but as on your show. When are we next going to see you?
As usually, I'm a co-host and a host in Parkland Podcast every Sunday 7 p.m. I have my own show Monday 8 p.m. But good old Spurs, neither of them are happening this weekend because Luke has decided that we're going to do the first ever first of this season, the first under a Parkland.
I've been from Wales, so I can vouch for this.
Yeah. Like it is definitely live watch along.
Yeah,
they're doing a live. I'm not live watching on Monday night because I'm at the game, so I'm not on that. And obviously, Spurs play the same time. I usually have my show on a Monday, so no
show this Monday. Yeah,
no show this Monday. Which doesn't feel right. I mean, it feels very, very odd.
And I was thinking, I was like, is Harry going to go to the game?
But if you want to follow me, you can there. Harry Scott 32. I'll be at the game if anyone wants to say hello. Don't blame me if you don't. I do chat. I do waffle quite a bit. I think that's fair to say. But Harry Scar 22 on all socials. Or I'll film the stream with Haz most of the time. I'm not on this week on View from the South Stand, so I think the match reaction is very close to after the game finishes. I don't think
I'm not going to make it either, Harry. I don't think
neither of us are on that.
It's going to be too late.
But thank you for having me. Because I've been working with clubs like Fulham and Tottenham around like autism, fan accessibility, and neurodiversity. So I've got the privilege to see outside and inside Craven Cottage, and it's very historic.
I actually saw the video of you on the Fulham Twitter account. So
lovely.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. Well, the away day that I'm definitely want to do this season, because I haven't been to an away game yet as Spurs, so I've been
It's
to
a nice
loads of home
stadium,
games.
Harry. Honestly,
It's lovely, so historic. I love it's so unique. So I really want to go there. Barney, we're gonna make it happen. So, but the thing is, what we done at Craven Cottage was the day after we got knocked out on penalties against Fulham. So as you can imagine, I'm going with the Spurs top. I got absolutely slated. So for Barney, who I may see after the game, we need to win this. I need to get Barney back.
Yeah. Well, you'll find me on this channel, Hasper TV. So I post a few videos on the channel, like short ones sometimes. I'm probably gonna start doing what Harry does with match reactions, because I think it's a very good idea. I haven't done anything like that before, but it'll have to be like Tuesday morning after release it or something. Because,
yeah, mine's gonna be Tuesday morning.
Yeah, so I'll try to start doing that. I post it on video. I'll probably have a video out on Calvin Phillips soon, because he's one player who I'm actually quite keen on the Spurs getting. I actually think he'll be a good signing for us. He ticks a lot of boxes, and I think he'll be an upgrade on Højbjerg. I'm probably in the minority with this. A lot of people don't really want him. Also, you'll find me on Harry's channel. Not every Monday, but a lot of Mondays.
Nice Mondays.
You'll find me on Southview Coys on a preview show once or twice a week. So if you guys, just so you guys know in advance, the preview show won't be on a Friday night, so that's messed up me as well, Harry. It'll be on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
What
are you doing?
Thursday night.
Premier League and Sky, to be fair.
Just messing up my streaming schedule. It'll be on Thursday, probably around 6ish. Harry, did you say you're on a half term or you're not?
Yeah, I've got 2 weeks off. If anyone wants to invite me,
do you want to come on my preview show on Thursday?
I'd love to come to your preview show, but you're gonna have to remind me, because I will forget. Because I nearly forgot today. Okay. I got to 2:30 and I was scrambling around thinking, "Oh my god, I haven't eaten yet."
Right, okay. So hopefully, me and Harry will be back on Southview Coast to the preview show at least, even though we're not be on the match reaction. But yeah, on Thursday, probably 6 or 7 or something, whatever. Whatever time is fine for me that day anyway. And then. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, like the channel. Muzzy, do you want to shout out your Twitter or your socials at all?
Twitter is Muzzyboy with 2 I's, not a Y. Feel free. I do like trolling opposite fans, so feel free to give me some.
Monday night, don't worry.
Let me know where you're sitting. I'll try to zoom into you and see if I can find you.
Yeah, we'll do. 100%.
2 weeks off. Oh, that's nice.
I know, right? But the thing is, I get loads of invites to football shows when I'm at school, etc. There's one where I think I'd done 8 shows in the space of 7 days one week, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks off, I'm nowhere. Part-time podcast we cancelled. I cancelled my own show. It's just crazy.
You know, Harry, even days when you think like you're not going to do any streaming or something, not off. Say you have time off and you're like, I'm just going to take time to myself. Sometimes you get people, oh, do you want to come on my show? Oh, there's an open show here. You're like, oh, I might just hop on now. Like when I was ill for like a week from work, so I took it off. Even though I still had a cough, or whatever, I was like on shows a lot of the time because I was like,
I know, I saw.
What am I supposed to do? I might as well just go on show.
Yeah, exactly, to keep occupied, but also has, we talk about Tottenham a lot, so it's great. Yeah, exactly, Barney. Yeah. But I started saying yes to 1 a week, and then I've done 8 in a week. I was like, oh my god, that was a busy week. To fair to say, but no, I enjoy it. Any invite is much appreciated, but sometimes I don't get invited back.
Yeah, so hopefully me and Harry will be on Thursday. I'm free anytime, so we can do it 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever suits you. I'm easy. I can tell Marlon to move the show time, so
yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And because you're off, you said so. Yeah. So before we leave, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Up the Fulham.
No, come on.
No chance.